And Ms. Kent?
Yes, I am Wendy Kent.
Thank you. Mr. Bishaw?
Yes, I'm Dan Bishaw.
Bishaw, thank you.
Yep.
All right. As I said, we are here for custody and parenting time modification motion. I have gone through the file, so everyone's clear. I've read the pleadings. You're welcome to give an opening statement if you'd like. I'll give you that option. We'll start with Mr. Perlman.
Yes, briefly. Okay, one moment here. Yes, thank you. So my client, again, she shares a very strong bond with her son Daniel. She offers love, affection. She provides consistent guidance, and she always ensures that he's nurtured and both emotionally and mentally. The child has within her care, understanding the importance of consistency of environment and how paramount that is. Miss Kent's home, who shares with both of her parents and her brother, offers a very wholesome, permanent family unit. It's something absent in defendant's residence, Mr. Bishaw's residence, where again he was living in at this time I believe he's living with his sister, and I'm not sure if that's on a temporary basis or not, but it's undisputed that that Mr. Bishaw was living with his girlfriend, who he and her both have extensive criminal records, and he obviously has significant issues have continuously led him down this path. There was an incident where he was driving drunk with the child in the back seat, and there was an incident, various incidents where both Mr. Bishaw and his then girlfriend or current girlfriend were both arrested at the same time, and the child was present, which led to him being incarcerated for several months, where my client had the child primarily during that time, and everything was fine. She's a very strong support system. She's a loving mother. Nowhere in the history of her parenting time, since this court has issued an order, have there been any noted issues? In terms of what's gone on during her parenting time, and there's never been anything inappropriate or anything that would. It's been an encouraging, helpful environment to the child, and that continues to this day. My client and the child have a very strong relationship. Again, at this time we're asking that the court modify the current parenting time schedule, awarding my client sole physical custody, whereby she be the primary custodial parent, and father can get weekends, whether it's 3 weekends a month, every other weekend, or every weekend. My client's willing to agree to that, but she offers a very wholesome household, and she'll ensure that the child has a place, his own room, and will ensure that he is attending school and that his attendance is superb, and ensure that he has a healthy, well-balanced upbringing. Again, nothing over the last few years, even though her parenting time, obviously she wasn't a primary custodial parent, she's demonstrated all the necessary character traits that it requires to be a well-balanced, good parent. And we're just asking, we believe there's been a significant change of circumstances, and that in totality, which we'll get into, it's in the best interest of the minor child.
Thank you. Mr. Bishaw, would you like to give an opening statement? As you could tell, an opening statement is really, it's just an argument about what you think, how you think the evidence will play out. Okay. It's not, you'll have an opportunity to testify if you choose, or if Mr. Perlman calls you as a witness, but so this isn't your testimony. I'm not swearing you in or anything. But you're able to give an argument at this time if you'd like, or you could even reserve until it's time for you to present evidence. I'll leave that choice to you.
No, I'd like to say a few things.
Thank
He
you.
is wrong on several things here. I was not incarcerated for several months over drinking and driving with my child ever. It had nothing to do with that. And I don't have no long living girlfriend. I don't have no girlfriend living with me or nothing. And yeah, my home was fine. I had it checked out by the CPI, Protective Services, everybody else. And yep, I have a great supporting family, and we all love him and take care of him. And he buys, everybody buys it. He got everything he needs, and yeah, we have an awesome bond. And you know, I do everything for his needs, and his love and affection, and his mental and well-being is everything all around.
Thank you. Mr. Perlman, your first witness.
Okay, if I may call, is my client's mother still in the waiting room?
Yes. But I don't know if she's connected her audio yet.
And if not, I could call Philip Allison if he's in the waiting room.
Yes. And while I'm here, Ms. Kent, can you tell me how to spell her last name?
It's Kowalske, Kowalski.
Thank you.
And I can take my phone to her and walk away if need to be.
Ms. Kowalski, can you hear me? Ms. Kent, I don't have a problem if you go stand by
Okay.
her. Just you can't.
Okay. Yep, I can walk away.
Well, you can hear the proceedings. What I'm trying to avoid, okay, is for
Yes.
you telling her what to say.
Yeah,
or
okay.
Any discussions? I don't want her to look to you.
Here, Mom. What? I can't hear or tell you anything, so, and since you can't get
Here.
your audio. Okay. Hi.
You can hear Ms. Kent. I don't want you to think that
Oh, you
Let-
can hear. You just
Let me-
can't say stuff.
Referee, I can work that out with them. We'll just call, if you don't mind, I'm sorry. We can just call Philip first, and then we can come back to this once they work
Yeah.
Oh,
out.
sure, that's up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to do that. It'll
All
be
right.
simpler.
That's fine with me. I just wanted to be clear that your client can listen.
I know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So your next witness being Mr. Allison.
Yes.
All right.
And Mike, she didn't drop out. Okay.
I gotta go back out front, Mom. Hey, Jeff.
Yes, hold tight.
Are
We're just
we-
gonna have Phil's gonna
Okay.
testify. So just stand still or get to a place where you can
Yep.
sit still.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, Phil.
He hasn't connected his audio yet.
Okay, good. He's
I'll let me just give me a second. Sometimes it's better here. I'll put everybody in the waiting room. Sometimes people can't see unless you're the one talking. Just give me a second. We're staying on the record. I'm moving Mr. Pearlman, Mr. Bishaw, and Ms. Kent to the waiting room. I'm just going to get this person's sound going. You hear me? We are back on the record on case number 198216 DC. I believe that we have solved the issue with some of the witnesses. Ms. Kent is in the same Zoom box as the next witness. Mr. Perlman is Mr. Allison, correct?
Correct.
All right. So they're sharing the phone, which is not a problem, just as long as Ms. Kent knows, and I've explained this, not to talk to the witnesses. And then Ms. Kowalski likely will be using the phone in this manner, but we'll just swap out Mr. Allison.
Right.
Okay. So, Mr. Allison, if you'd raise your right hand, please. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All the truth. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Perlman.
Yes. Sir, state your name for the record.
Philip J. Allison.
Okay. And Miss Wendy Kent, who's standing behind you today. How do you know Miss Kent from working with her? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it's my understanding that you've known each other for about 2.5, 3 years.
Yes, sir. 2.5
Okay.
years now.
Okay. All right. And what is your relationship to the family?
To the family, very good friends with the family, I guess. Her brothers, her mother, father.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
been with them on a basis where I can see them all interact together
Okay. And
over the 2.5 years.
okay. And have you had a chance to meet Daniel, the minor child?
Yes.
Okay. And have you had a chance to see my client interact with him?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And how would you describe, in general, how would you describe Miss Kent as a mother?
In general, a loving, caring, giving, attentive, a normal mother. I'm a father of 2, so I can give that kind of judgment. She is a very good mom. She's on every need that he needs, or, everything that needs to be done as a mother interacting with her son is normal. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't go that far, but I'm just saying that it's a lot better than my ex-wife was with my own 2 daughters. I wish she was the mother to my 2 daughters.
And
As
how,
opposed to my ex-wife.
okay. And have you observed the child, is the child also affectionate towards her?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want to be away from his mom at
Okay.
all. When they're together, they're together.
Okay. And and how old is the child approximately? I know you're not.
5 years.
Okay.
He just turned 5 just last month.
Okay. And are there any examples? I mean, in terms of you were around, especially the last few months when Daniel was living with Miss Kent, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did you again, you kind of describe their interaction. Did she seem to create necessary boundaries in terms of bedtimes or
Yes. She made a structured environment here, and she has great backup. Her mom is there, her dad, and her brothers are always in and out here. So they have Daniel has his cousins to play with and interact with, all different ages. Each one of her brothers are parents themselves, and Wendy I mean, she's fantastic. I have not witnessed anything out of the ordinary. And I mean this, I'm swearing under testimony right now that would suggest that she has any issues to deal with any problem, she can handle it, is what I'm trying to say. You know, she always was attentive and anything, you know, boy fell down, scraped his knee or, you know, whatever, playing, there was never an issue.
Right.
She's a very good parent, in my
And-
opinion. That's
Okay.
just my opinion.
Okay. Well, that's why you're here. So, and what you've observed,
She's very, very structured too, as far as trying to be on time, bringing the boy back. I know you get late here and there, but as far as picking up Daniel from Dan or Matt or Candy, she's, you know, she tries to work with them, not tries, she does work with them.
okay.
So,
In
you know,
terms
which
of,
is all part of this.
okay. And I think we spoke the other day, you mentioned that, you know, the family in general is very Christian oriented. They go to church.
Yes. Go to
Okay.
church. The whole Kent family is a good structured unit, I have to say. I
Okay.
mean, they all care about one another. They're all here for each other's birthdays. One just moved away. Aaron just moved away. He's out west now. He's in the Air Force or Army.
That's exactly what
You
I
can't say
want to
anything
do,
when you,
Ms. Kent.
I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Okay. Yep. Sorry about that, Your Honor. But
Not your fault, sir, but Ms.
yes, sir.
Kent,
thank you. And have you, so in terms of the day-to-day routine, who's responsible for, does she make the child dinner, meals, bathe, you know, make
Yes.
sure the child's bathed? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, she had a normal like structured time for everything. I mean, there was times, you know, like for Memorial Day weekend or whatever, that, you know, you could stay up a little bit later. Family was all together. But yes, bedtime, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all that was set up between certain points of time. And sometimes in our lives, you understand we can't be exactly 12 o'clock noon for lunch or something like that. But yes, everything was very much structured. And really, she did it on her own. I mean, her mom didn't have to intercede, or Wendy doesn't need to be watched or have someone look over her shoulder to be a mom. She's a great mom. And I'm not saying that because I like her and I've known her for 2 years, and her work ethic and all that is just fabulous. I mean, spectacular. I'm saying that from being a father myself. I have a 27-year-old and a 25-year-old and 2 daughters I raised. And she is really, really a good mother. You know, the structuring of bath time, bedtime, laundry, just the whole routine. She has it down. I mean, it's not like she has to have anyone in her ear telling her what to do, how to act. It's just a
Okay.
natural thing with her.
And I guess, you have any experience with her or with observing her, or do you believe that these traits would transfer to ensuring that you know, encouraging and influencing the child's attendance in school and
Yes.
okay,
She had reading times with him, even during the months, because he has trouble saying certain words in that. And she would read, have him read. She would break down words into syllables for him. As far as being able to be up in time to have the boy to school, if that's what you're asking, or pick him up, yeah, there would not be an issue at all with that, in my personal opinion of what I witnessed.
okay.
Let's
Have
put it
you-
this way. I have a 7-year-old granddaughter, and I would leave Wendy with her all day, all night, and not have to worry, not have
Okay.
to worry at all.
have you witnessed any substance abuse pertaining to Wendy or in her home?
Absolutely not. This whole family is anti-drug. I don't know what was before while she was, prior to me knowing her, but since I've been with her, and I got her into her career now as an operating engineer. I was the one that facilitated that because I believed in her. First off, how I met her was through work and work ethic. Okay. And I would have never got her into the operating engineers union had she been any type of substance abuse. I never witnessed that. I never seen it. I know what to look for. I've had my friends that I grew up with, okay, and I grew up in Detroit, ask me, please, Phil, get me in. I wouldn't. She's the first and only person I put my name behind to put forth to the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 324 Detroit. I backed her because I believed in her. There is no substance abuse
Okay.
that I've witnessed or seen since I've known her.
And you, were you correct in your analysis of her work ethic? Does she have a strong work ethic?
Extremely strong.
Okay.
It's pretty strenuous being what we do. It's a 6 day a week, 10 hours a day minimum. And, we run heavy machinery. We build pipelines, maintain them. And that's what I got her into, was the pipeline aspect of the unionized operating engineers.
And it's my understanding that you're in your profession, just probably because you're dealing with, given you what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, there's regular drug testing.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it's right from the get, and then it's random, and it could be once a week. It could be, you don't know when they're coming, but they'll come and they'll pull 4 or 5 people off a crew and be like, okay, you guys, time to test.
Okay.
And it has to be that way out there.
Okay. And why is that?
Because we're running heavy machinery and we're building pipelines across the, vast areas. And some people out there have a tendency, since they legalized marijuana here, they think that it's okay to do that. You cannot run heavy machinery on any type of substance out there. You got to be clear. You have to be focused. I've been in this union for 23 years, and it's even me. I know it's part of my job. They're going to come and test. Okay. They test even for now, some kind of synthetic urine or something like this. Now people have been trying to use, and they got away with it for a while. And now that can even be detected. And Wendy is, since I've been working with her, has never tested positive. And I haven't either in 23 years of being with the union.
And these are frequent tests?
Pretty frequent. You don't know. It's not a for sure thing that you might even be tested. You might go a whole project, not get tested. But more than likely, you're going to be, if it's a 6 month to 7 month project, you're going to be tested once on a random, and if we don't want it to happen, if there's something where you bump into something, like if I'm running my tractor or my side boom and I back into a vehicle or something like that, you're instantly tested. And thank God I haven't had anything like that happen.
Okay. And have you ever witnessed any violence from Wendy?
No, none at all.
Okay.
She's the most caring, loving, giving person that one of the most caring, loving, giving people I've ever met.
Okay.
Give you the shirt off her back, if she had one underneath.
Okay.
So to say.
And despite perhaps their differences, does Wendy, does she still encourages, or I should say, she doesn't criticize Mr. Bishaw in front of the child?
Never.
Okay.
That's something that I've never witnessed. I can't, as far as me being around and her saying something bad about Daniel's father, no, not in front of the boy.
Okay.
Ever. She doesn't even bring that up. When she's with him, she just is in in the mom zone, I guess.
Okay, and is there anything else that you'd like to express as to your observations regarding her ability
I
to?
want to say that no one put me up to this except me. I just wanted to say the things I have said because these are the things I've witnessed. I had an ex-wife. I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it does, because I had an ex-wife that when I went through my divorce, just handed me my children and was like, she just didn't want to be a mom no more. Wendy wants to be a mom, and it hurts her that she can't just be a normal mom, to where she can sleep with her boy or, be in the same house overnight. I don't know what happened 4.5 years ago. I was not around, so I can't speculate on any of that, but I'm saying for right now, while I've known her, she wants to be with her kid, with Daniel. I'm sorry, she wants to be with Daniel every moment of every day. If they could split it up and get things done to where, like normal divorced or separated people are, that's the way I could see her flourishing. And the boy would be happy too. He's always happy to be with his mom. He can't wait to, get here and see grandma and grandpa and play and have a good time, be a young boy, a young man.
Okay, and he's also around other his cousins when he's there.
Well, when they come around, yes.
Okay.
Because everyone's got, Brian's got all her brothers, all 4 of her brothers have children, and they all love Daniel. So
Okay. Do you have
they're sad when he can't come over for Christmas. Because whatever the reasons are, I'm not going to get into, or a holiday that, they're supposed to split up, and for whatever reason, there's, no call, no show, and it kills her. Mother's Day killed her this year again. Couldn't see her son on Mother's Day. Everyone's saying they're working together. I don't know. I'm not going to get in the middle
do you
of all
think,
that. I just know how she's affected when she cannot see her son, especially on Mother's Day. I never did that to my ex-wife. I couldn't do that.
okay. Do you think Miss Kent possesses the tools to work together in a cordial co-parenting arrangement?
I think she can. I mean, yes. To answer that simply, yes.
Okay. Very
Yes.
good.
Without elaborating.
Okay, I have no further questions for you at this point. Thank you.
Well,
Mr. Bishaw, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, as a matter of fact, your testimony wouldn't have anything to do with you and Wendy being a couple or anything like that, no, correct?
I don't understand the question, Dan. I mean, we're together, so
Yeah.
right. So it's not what are you trying to say? Like it's biased, or
No, I just,
it's not a non-biased opinion. I'm just
Well,
was
sir,
asked
Mr. Allison, you're not asking questions, and he's asking that because you introduced yourself as a coworker. You never said anything about dating relationship, so it's fair for him.
Yes, we're friends, very good friends, Your Honor.
So it's okay for him to ask that, and then, sir, you just answer questions as asked. Mr. Bishaw
Okay.
is asking.
Sure, go ahead, Dan. Fire
well,
away.
I was wondering that because, I know you guys been together for, a couple years, whatnot. And because that one time there in East Jordan at McDonald's, when your wife or ex-wife down there in the altercation.
I don't have a wife. I'm not married, Dan.
Well, okay, your ex-wife, and
She's not an ex-wife.
Mr. Allison,
okay.
Just wait for the
you have to
question.
wait to answer the questions. It's not time for you to argue with Mr. Bishaw.
Okay.
You just sit there, listen to the question, and answer it.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
So it's a pretty simple process. You just listen, answer, he'll ask, and then you're all set. Okay?
Sorry about that, Dan. Go ahead.
I just wondered that because, that little altercation that happened over at East Jordan with, I don't know if she's your girlfriend at the time, whatever, and you still supposed to be out of state, and here you're over there bringing Wendy to get to pick the boy.
No,
and
I'm
stuff.
sorry. I would object to the narrative portion of the statement. It's not really a question. It's kind of
think he's trying to get to it. I understand what you're saying, but
I know.
Mr. Bishaw, so what the objection is, and I agree, is you ask questions and then the witness answers. So if you're wanting to make statements, that will come later if you choose, or if Mr. Perlman calls you as a witness.
Okay,
So it's just the
Yeah.
simplest way to say it is it's question and answers, and that's it. You ask questions, he has to answer, and we don't.
There you
flip
go.
it around. Okay. All right.
yep, I guess that was just my question, you know, that your testimony had any weight bearing on you guys being a couple, and that is all, I guess.
And he's asked and answered.
He didn't answer that. He argued
Oh.
about why he needs to answer the question.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, sir. Dan,
Yeah.
I see Mr. Perlman, not Dan right now. To answer your question, we are coworkers, good friends. Yes, sir. Okay, and we were driving back from Minnesota, if you remember, Dan, 14 hours. We would come together rather than her drive by herself. We were working on that project up there in northern Minnesota, Enbridge Line 3. And yes, we did come back together. And we'd ride together all the way back 14 hours to see Daniel. And yes, Monica did show up. But again, as I explained with Monica, she knew we were working together. It was nothing unknown to her, sir. But she just thought something else was going on at that time. I don't see Dan. I see Jeff.
Okay.
Not that I
think
don't
if
mind
you're-
looking. I
if
don't
you-
mind looking at you.
If you're on a phone, you may
Yeah.
need to swipe it over because you're likely only
Oh.
seeing the person talking, because now you can probably see me.
Oh, I see everyone now. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
there you go.
All
There
right,
you
good deal. All right, I don't know how to do this. I'm
go.
sorry, Your
No,
Honor.
no, it's no problem. Mr. Bishaw, do you have any further questions for this witness?
No, I mean, honestly, I don't really know the guy. He said he would bring Wendy every time for a visit to pick him up and stuff like that.
Any further questions?
No,
Any redirect, Mr. Perlman?
No. Not at
Thank
this-
you, Mr. Allison. You're all set.
Thank you.
And
Dan,
then, so if I can
Yeah.
explain a little bit, you're welcome to listen to the proceedings at this time, but you're not able to tell Ms. Kent what to say, okay? So I'm not, but I want to be clear because I know we're having some logistical issues. We're using her phone for everybody. I just
Right.
want to make it clear that for you, you've testified. You can listen to whatever you want, okay? But you can't be talking to Ms. Kent while she's listening to the proceedings. That's all, okay? All right.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. There's just no, yeah, all right, we got it. So, Mr. Perlman, your next witness, please.
Yes, Ms. Ken, if we'd like to call your mother, if you could bring your phone to her.
Yep, 1 second. Yeah, I'll find her.
Is that okay?
I'm gonna say, once we get Yeah, settled what I here.
Here
I'll
she
just-
is.
I'll wait on that.
All right, Mom.
Hi.
Hi there.
1 second, please. And so, this is Ms. Kowalski, please, correct?
Correct.
All right. I'll swear you in just 1 second. The issue I was going to cover is, okay, Mr. Allison hung up his phone. What I'm going to do is remove, I don't want people to have to sit there with their phones on while they're using your phone. So I'm going to remove her from there and we're good. Okay, so ma'am, Ms. Kowalski, if you would raise your right hand, please. Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Marie Lorraine Kowalski, Kowalske.
Mr. Perlman.
Okay. If I may. Yes, yes, ma'am. Hello. Again, say your name for the record, please.
Marie Lorraine Kowalski.
Okay, and Ms. Kolsky, what is your relationship to Wendy Kent?
I'm her mother.
Okay, and what is so you're the grandmother of Daniel?
Correct.
Okay, and does it's my understanding that Wendy currently lives with you. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you also live with your husband?
yes,
Is that correct? Okay. And have you had an opportunity to see Wendy parent her child?
yes.
Okay, and how would you describe Wendy as a mother?
She is an excellent mother. She has really grown a lot from the past, and she's doing so much better. She's, like I said, an excellent mom. She's considerate about her son's needs, his wants. She's really good with him.
Okay. Have you again over the last couple years, you've had a chance to be a part of and witnessed much of their time together. Is that fair to
Yes.
say?
Yes,
Okay. And have you ever witnessed anything inappropriate on behalf of Wendy with the child?
never,
Okay. And
not at any time.
okay. And how would you describe your household in general? Is it a pretty how would you describe your household, I guess?
Pretty loving, caring, really good.
Okay. Is I understand that every family has their arguments and issues, but does everyone pretty much live in harmony there and get along well?
Yes,
Okay. And how is your relationship with the child?
it's really good. He's an
Okay.
excellent grandson.
Okay. And go ahead.
And he loves his mom to pieces. He won't let her go when he's around her.
Okay. Do you think that Wendy needs your supervision or anyone's supervision in parenting her son?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
And why do you say that?
Because she doesn't.
Okay.
She's grown a lot since the past, and she's a great mom, and she has integrity, and she's really good with them.
Okay. And how many children do you have?
I have 5.
Okay.
I have 7, counting my husband's other 2 children, but I have 5.
Okay. And do the other siblings live in the area?
Yes,
Okay. So do you are there often gatherings at your home and
yes,
okay. And how does the child get along with his extended family? Well, you have 4 sons?
yes.
So how
And
does
he loves his uncles unconditionally. He likes to play with them, and he goes and plays with everybody. He takes his turns with all of us.
and how does Wendy get along with her brothers?
Excellent.
They're close-knit family?
Yes,
Okay.
very close. Yep.
You did something right, man.
Thank you.
And is there any violence in your household that or is it, I mean, have you witnessed, I mean, I guess any violence in your household, or again, is it
No,
okay? Okay. And in terms of just on a day-to-day, have you observed in terms of her, Ms. Kent's diligence, her ability to properly guide the child, to make sure that he has food, to make sure that he's bathed, to make sure his medical needs are met, to make sure that he's, disciplined if necessary. What have you observed in terms of those factors?
She's did all of those all the time with the food and the discipline.
Okay.
He listens really well.
Okay. Does she have to yell at him, or is she?
Never. Nope. She doesn't have to yell at him.
Okay. Okay. And in terms of currently, have you do you have any reason to believe that your daughter has any substance abuse issues or anything to that effect at this time?
No, none. None
Okay.
whatsoever.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel is at all inhibiting her ability to parent?
I didn't understand that. What was you saying?
Is there anything that you feel that she lacks as a parent that you're concerned about?
No. Nope. I have no concerns.
Okay.
She doesn't lack anything.
Okay. Do you know Mr. Bishaw?
Yes.
Okay. And are you you're familiar with the situation where again the child was staying with you for a consecutive period of time because Mr. Bishaw was in jail?
Right.
Okay. And what I guess what have been, in terms of the parties' willingness to co-parent, what have been your observations of Mr. Bishaw?
To co-parent,
Yes.
he doesn't always follow through with agreements. He
Okay.
doesn't want her to have overnights. He's never let her have that opportunity to have overnights.
Okay. And
He-
do you feel are you concerned about the environment that the child's in when in Mr. Bishaw's care?
Yes,
And why is that?
because of drugs and drinking and for being in jail.
Okay. And use drugs and drinking, is that just pertaining to Mr. Bishaw or people he's living with, or what is your understanding? If you
I
don't know,
just-
you don't know.
I'm not sure on all that, but
Okay.
I do know it's not good. When my
Okay.
daughter was there, it wasn't good.
Okay. And do you have is there anything else that you would like to tell the court in terms of why you think, well, I guess what do you think would be the best interest of the minor child? What do you think would be in terms of the parenting time arrangement?
I guess,
I guess I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you feel that the child should live with mother primarily? What are your thoughts on that?
yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. And why is that?
For the nurturing of a mother.
Okay. And do you have any reason to concerns about the child being able to make it to and from school when in Miss Kent's care?
No,
Okay. And will do you believe that Miss Kent and then, of course, if you're living there as well, will make the necessary efforts to ensure that he's staying on top of his schoolwork?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Is that a priority for you and your family?
Yes,
Okay. Very good. And the child has his own space and a place to stay when he's with Miss Kent?
yes,
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
you're welcome.
Okay, is there anything else you wanted to tell the court?
I can't think of anything right off.
Okay, well, thank you. You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before I turn it over to Mr. Bishaw, I have a couple questions for you, ma'am. Does Ms. Kent live with you?
Yes,
How long has she lived with you?
she's lived with us for about 5 years now.
Okay. And you mentioned that the minor stayed with you and Ms. Kent in that home. Was that recently?
Yes.
And well, okay, I didn't ask.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, it is. And I should be more specific based on Mr. Perlman's question. This was during a time when you said that Mr. Bishaw was incarcerated.
Correct.
Okay, so during this time, do you know approximately how long that parenting time, what's called a block, was?
I'm misunderstanding what you're trying to ask me. When she had him,
Okay, let me say it this way. Are you familiar with the current court order?
I'm not sure.
Okay, do you know whether Ms. Kent a court has permitted her to have overnights at this time?
No, they didn't.
Right, so
From the past, no.
understood. But during this time, what I'm trying to get at is during the time that Mr. Bishaw was incarcerated, can you tell me when that was? Meaning what month? You know, you don't have to be exact on dates, but how long ago from today was that?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was in May.
Okay, sure. Yeah, and again, I'm not. Do you know about how long that period was where the minor stayed with you? That's what I was calling the block. I'm trying to figure out.
May 25th to when Candy said she had to come and get him.
So I'm a little familiar with these parties. We just had a hearing last week, actually. Was it about in July when that block of parenting time ended, ma'am?
I think so.
Okay. I know this is a sort of a long road to get to, but all I was really wondering is during that time, the minor was spending overnights with Ms. Kent. Is that correct?
Correct.
In
And
your
he
home?
loved it. He loved it here. Yes.
And can you describe how the overnights went? What your role was, what Ms. Kent's role was during this time, how the child behaved?
He behaved really well all the time he was here. He enjoyed himself. He played. He had fun. We worked with him on school stuff. He said goodnight to us when it was time for bed. Woke up happy every time. Never asked about his dad once. So he had fun here. He loves it here.
And what was your role in the parenting during the overnights?
What was my role?
Yeah, did you have one or zero? That's still a role. I'm just looking for how this played out.
I was here with her when he had him. Is that what you're asking me?
Okay, so if the court decides to change custody and grant Ms. Kent overnights, you'd still be in the home, correct?
Correct.
But you mentioned that Ms. Kent doesn't need any supervising. Is that correct?
No, she doesn't.
And
Yes.
so what I was trying to get at, maybe I'm being more confusing than I thought, but during the overnights, were you supervising Ms. Kent with the minor during this May through July?
I was watching her, yes, and I don't believe she needs help with anything.
Okay, so you don't feel like it was necessary for you to have to intervene or supervise her during that parenting time?
No.
That's really what I was getting at, okay?
Okay.
So, thank you. Mr. Bishaw, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when she would like bathe and stuff, was there any special things that she would do that out of the ordinary that me or you wouldn't do?
No.
Are you aware that he had tubes in his ears and it's a must? He has to have earplugs in his ears to ever go under water or anything like that?
Yes, we're aware of that because the doctor told us that when we had him in the office, and you never told us. But yeah, I'm aware of that.
I told Winnie many times when you had to go swim or even a shower, make sure you had earplugs. They even offered some. And just like with food and everything else, you know, with mouth situation, you know, with different foods and just everything. But and as far as yeah, you stated me drinking with my son or doing drugs, that has never happened. I never would do that.
It has to be a question. It has to be a question, sir.
Okay.
You're going to be able to testify. You just have to ask Ms. Kowalski some questions.
Yeah, have you ever seen me drink around a boy or think I was drinking or anything like that when you guys come to pick him up or drop him off? Right?
Well, I've never seen you drink, no, but I know you have before. I've seen you drink a long time ago, yes.
Yeah, I mean, no, would your honest opinion, you feel like I'm a good father as well, and I do anything for his needs?
I'm not sure.
I was wondering because you made that statement down there before, down at the well, the protective service and all that. You know, I can be a good father and all that stuff. I just wonder if you remember those kind of things, and that Wendy could be a good mother, you know, with help and you know some guidance and things like that. And would you as a-
Well,
you?
sir, if we got to give her a chance to answer. That was a question that
Okay.
she's.
Sorry.
I'm interested if she said those things, certainly. So, ma'am, you need to answer that question.
You're saying I did say when we was in the courtroom, or not the courtroom, but with the social serve, excuse me, can't say it. This social workers, I did say that at the time because, and that Wendy was a good mom too. There was no doubt in my mind she was a good mom. So that was over 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she was a good mom.
And
It newborn at that time, but yes. What was you gonna say?
I didn't hear you, Dan.
Oh, I was just saying when you made that statement, the baby just a newborn at that time. So you know, I mean,
That's correct.
yeah.
I was giving you both a chance.
And was there a reason that you made her stay out in a camper at your house instead of being able to come in your home when she was asked to remove out of this home here on my sister because unsafe of being around the baby at night and things?
No, I let her stay out in the camper because she had a lot of thinking she wanted to do. You kicked her out. She had
Right.
no place to go. So no,
Okay, Marie, I never.
you wanted me to take her someplace to an institution place, and she does not need that. I'm sorry, but she doesn't need one.
Okay, Marie, that was not that was not for me. That was through protective surgery. And
No, that was from you, Dan,
Hey, so
because that's what
listen,
you told us.
listen. I don't want to have to do this with every witness, but we have to ask questions and answer questions. So, Mr. Bishaw, you ask Ms. Kowalski questions, and Ms. Kowalski, you answer the questions asked.
Okay.
Okay, and the thing was, is either Wendy had to leave this home or I had to turn the baby over to somebody else out of this home because they did not feel safe. And that was the deal, that Wendy had to leave this home. And they're the ones that made her go and get the psychological evaluation done. That there's 2 cops that came here and took her to the cell away.
I'm gonna object to the narrative. There's no question.
Understood. Mr. Bishaw, you have to ask a question. You'll be able to testify later.
All right. And as you know, didn't we have to take care of the Petoskey Hospital to have an evaluation done also?
They didn't find anything out up there, did they?
I don't know. I never went in the room. He's like down on the
Yeah.
wire. I don't know what you
Okay.
told her. Well, that night, that right there, didn't it take you an hour or so to get her up out of my basement?
No, it didn't.
And then she's in the bathroom another half hour or so, because your husband Mark was getting really upset sitting out in the car that long because she's in the bathroom running water before we went there.
I don't remember all that, Dan.
Do you remember the incident down in McDonald's? You guys there, and when he was chasing the boy around and he split his eyeball open?
Yes, I do. He was playing, and a typical kid's gonna probably hit a table or two with their head. It wasn't done on purpose.
No, I wouldn't say it was. I just wanted.
And she took care of him.
And she took care of what, the cut?
Yes,
Well, yeah, with a piece of paper towel from the McDonald's.
yes, Dan.
Yeah, because they said he could have had a couple stitches there if it got caught in time. But,
No, he didn't need stitches.
well, that's what they told me. But
No, he did not need stitches. I'm sorry.
okay, well, I'm not a doctor or nothing either, but I was told that he could have used a few stitches in that cut there.
No. No.
And you said that you think Wendy's a normal, loving mother.
Yes, she is. Truly is.
Hmm. But- And you think she automatically has mother instincts and stuff like that since she had the baby and all that?
What was that question, Dan?
You think that she had normal mother instincts after, she gave birth to the baby?
Yes.
Do you remember that they did not want to, the baby could not be in the room if I wasn't up there at the hospital because she showed no interest in the baby? Didn't want to hold it or nothing or feed it?
That's because she was tired out from giving birth.
For several days?
Everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. It takes a while to heal and to get your strength back.
Do you recall coming over my house trying to get Wendy to a call to get prenatal care after we found out she was pregnant?
I'm gonna object to relevance.
Mr. Bishaw, any response? How's it relevant?
I guess I have really no more to ask her.
Did you say you don't have any more questions?
Yeah, well, actually I do, as a matter of
Okay.
fact. No, like transporting him to school and stuff. She don't have a vehicle. I mean, right now she don't have a job. And she's never, to this day, has ever bought clothing or anything for her, a pair of shoes, anything, and be able to send it with him or or anything like that, you know, where me and my family, my sisters, my, you know, Matthew, everybody, I mean, he's got everything he possibly could ever ask for, anything ever needs and wants. You know, goes like camping trips. I mean, all the, you got anything to get, but yeah, she's never,
I'd object to the narrative. I mean, I'll have the opportunity to
At
testify.
first, sir, so at first I thought you were asking a question about school. So if you want to ask a question, you just ask the question. Is it, how can I help here? Because, I keep saying the same thing, but maybe it's not helpful. So if you could just ask the witness questions instead of making long statements that it sounds like what you're trying to do is make statements, right? To have something for the court to listen to as a fact. But right now, you're just asking questions of this witness. You'll be able to state what you believe are facts later.
okay.
Okay, so if you could just ask questions, then Ms. Kowalski will answer them, okay?
Yep. If he was there, how would he get back and forth to school, Marie?
He would get back and forth to school either on a bus, or I will drive him back and forth to school, or let Wendy drive him back and forth to school.
And did that be, I mean, you'd be fine with that happening every day throughout the winter during the over school, as you stated?
You'll have to repeat your answer. It's somehow the phone was muted. So ma'am, I saw you talking, but we couldn't hear you.
What was the question again?
I was just wondering how he was gonna get back and forth to school, because Wendy said that she wanted to keep him at over school.
He would get back and forth to school either by the bus or by a vehicle with me or Wendy.
Well, I was wondering if there's an emergency around when you're working and everything. I'm just concerned about things like that, I guess.
Well, I'm pretty sure Wendy would be taking care of it if something happened. Call 911 or whatever we have to do.
Uh,
And I'm sure you guys would do the same thing. So,
Well, absolutely. Whatever was needed to be taken care of.
same here.
And without her working or anything, how would she be able to afford clothing and things like that, and his needs that he would need, you know, throughout the school year?
She can afford them.
But she can afford them. She's not working right now, correct?
She can afford them, Dan.
Okay.
That wasn't the question. I need to know the answer to that, ma'am.
I would get them for him if he needs it.
Is she employed right now or not, was the question.
Right now, she's not employed right this second, no. But as Dan,
Go ahead, Mr. Bishaw.
Yes, I have income. I'm not employed yet.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You can,
Oh.
I'm not answering questions from witnesses either. It's not her opportunity to do that. She just answers questions that you ask. Would you please ask some more questions, Mr. Bishaw, if you have them? I just have to keep directing everyone to do the simple instructions like ask questions, answer questions. So I'm trying to do my best.
Yeah, I guess I have no further questions for Marie.
Where's your home located, Ms. Kowalski?
my home's located on just off in between lake, right on the borderline for,
Sure, thank you. And you don't have to give me your exact address. I don't want to put that online. I'm just wondering, and how far away from Mr. Bishaw's home are you?
It's,
Approximately,
what's that?
approximately how far away is where you live from where Mr. Bishaw lives?
I can't, I think it's about 10 miles.
In other words, these parties live close. Is that your understanding?
What was that?
These parties live pretty close to each other. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Perlman, any redirect?
Just very briefly, ma'am, who's asked about comments you'd made to a social worker previously, years ago. Currently, do you have concerns about Mr. Bishaw being a good father?
Yes, I do.
And what are those concerns?
Concerns of being arrested and watching his son watch him being arrested, for one. Just stuff like that.
Well, okay, and what, well, I guess if you could elaborate a little bit, now's the time.
For drugs and drinking, just partying all the time.
Okay. Okay, and,
And um,
And that is hearsay.
Hold on.
okay, and you believe that affects his ability to parent?
yes.
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Just how do you know he's partying all the time? I thought you said he didn't. You haven't seen him drink around the child.
Because when my daughter lived there, I know they partied a lot.
Okay.
He partied a lot.
And she's lived. Mr. Perlman asked you your current concerns. Has your daughter lived with Mr. Bishaw currently or recently?
No.
Okay.
She does not live with him. She lives here with me.
All right. Mr. Bishaw, do you have any final questions for this witness? And they have to be based on the questions that I've asked or the questions that Mr. Perlman just asked.
Yes, was you there every day when Wendy had the boy for that 2 months, Marie? Could you hear me?
I said yes.
So you didn't have to work for that whole 2 months that she had him, that you took him from the school?
I stayed here with her, yes, until I found out you didn't have rights. So I didn't think I'd have to stay with her. Cause I have to work too, you know.
Yeah, I wondering because right in the court order, that's what it states.
She wasn't here by herself at all.
Yeah, but
She
you
like
were the
had
one,
somebody here.
you were the one that's being appointed by the court as a supervisor. Because your husband, I mean, he barely take care of himself, correct? But he's got medical problems.
He can take care of himself. He might need help once in a while, but he can take care of himself.
Yeah, but just in the court orders is it made precise that you had to be the supervisor. Or that's Wendy and I agreed to find somebody else if you was not available, correct?
Yes, but you were in jail, Dan, at the time.
Okay, but that doesn't matter. I'm talking about the boy, you know, his safety and health and
His
well-being.
safety was fine.
Well, that's why you was there for the supervisors, so they could make sure that the courts.
Correct.
Okay, that's the only thing I was asking about you being at work while she had the boy.
It's not a question.
That wasn't a question. If she was at work while she had the boy.
Yeah, I took it as though you were just explaining why you asked something. So I understood. Did you have any further questions for this witness, sir?
No, I'm all set, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
You're
Um,
welcome.
if I just has one more question, I'm sorry, just based on what Your Honor asked. Are you aware if are you aware, whether or not the boy understood or that expressed an understanding, that he witnessed his father getting arrested?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
And he cried
okay, and where did he witness his father getting arrested?
at McDonald's parking lot at the drop off.
Okay. Do you know why he was arrested?
The police officer said he had a warrant against his arrest.
See, I was
Okay, fine.
asking how she knows these things. You're
Okay,
not
fine.
asking
Okay,
the
I have
same,
no-
but I'm looking for her foundation on some of these issues.
I understand.
So, I'm not interested in what the police said, or if you want to ask her how she knows, if she was present at that McDonald's, that's what I was wondering, is how she knows these things
I was present at McDonald's, yes,
during the
the-
arrest.
for the pickup and for the drop off and for the event. Yes.
What was
The
the
event-
event?
Yeah, go ahead. The event being, that's what we're looking for. The event meaning the arrest, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Probman, you can follow up in that vein then.
Thank you. And when was that?
I'd have to look it up. It was in May sometime, I believe.
Okay, and do you know how the police became involved with the situation?
Yes. Because the little boy was in the front seat of the vehicle when he was being dropped off. And the law is he's not supposed to be in the front seat, I believe.
Was he in
So
was he in a child seat was in a booster
and
seat?
I don't think he was in a booster seat. And we had called the cops about it and told them. So when the drop off came, the cops were there before we got there, and they were already talking, had Dan in custody at that time and told us that we had to wait because he had a warrant out for his arrest. They were checking on it. That's
Okay.
how I know. And then he was arrested, and Daniel watched him being arrested.
And it's your understanding that he wasn't released from custody until July, from then until July?
I'm
sorry, which is it your understanding that he was in custody from that point and that date in May at McDonald's? Until
Yes.
he was released in July?
Yes,
Okay. All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Can I
Now,
make a comment to that?
To be fair, then any final questions, Mr. Bashaw?
Yes, on the factor, she stayed there about McDonald's. Went to the drive-through line. He wanted a chocolate milk that morning, and he was in a car seat in the back of the van. And he asked, and as we was parked ordering, I let him out. He got out and he sat in the front seat.
I'm gonna object, Judge.
I'm trying to, that's why I always had my hand up. You have to ask a question, sir, okay?
Well, I just stating how he got in the front seat of the van.
I'm aware that you're stating something. I've asked you not
Okay.
to do that. I'm asking you to
I'm sorry.
ask her questions. You can ask her about you can ask her about the situation. That's perfectly fine. It's just, it's not your opportunity to tell us what you think happened yet, okay?
No, okay.
All right, so you can ask her some questions.
Did you see me come down the road and the boy sitting in the front seat, or is that coming right in the parking lot of McDonald's?
Right through the parking lot at McDonald's. You never went through the drive-through. You came right through the parking lot.
Okay. Well, I did, but anyways, yes. I have no further questions.
All right, thank you. At this point, ma'am, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I guess it goes back.
All right, so we had a couple new people pop in the waiting room, so let me just let you know who it is. A Ryan Cassar or something. And then I have a 734 number. I don't want to read the whole number onto the record, but I can, if you want, we'll go off the record. I can identify this person and do it that way, but we're on YouTube and I don't like people's personal information out there.
Okay, I don't, I would only, I don't believe I have any other witnesses in the waiting room.
Mr. Bashar, were those people, are you familiar whom you are familiar with?
No, not at all, Your Honor.